Woo! Good morning, people. Oh my goodness. It's good to see you guys. I changed the title to this live stream because I was going to talk about this. There's a lot of talk about Enrique's case and mostly on Twitter. And there's some stuff that I wanted to address and I wanted to talk about. The thing is, though, it's good to see you, Tom, and all of you guys. Thanks for joining me so early. And I was in Tom's chat. I've been up for a long time. I was live on Instagram like at 6 this morning. But yeah, I've had an early start today. And I had a lot of time to think. I was thinking a lot while I was at the gym, and just throughout the morning, looking at Twitter and you know, I was going to just discuss my thoughts on everything in that sense, and I'm going to skip the super chat dance at least for a while today. Thank you, Buzzing for Truth. Just because I want to stay on task here, but thank you so much, Buzzing for Truth. I appreciate you. As always. We're gonna get into the Jennifer Coffindaffer stuff, that's for sure. I don't want to get into it now because I want to make sure that we have enough time to cover this press conference. I didn't know that there was going to be a press conference until just a little while ago, and I'm really glad that there is one, because my issue with this case is that I don't have a lot of information. So I wanted to proactively just kind of hang out with you guys, and maybe we could come up with some sort of temporary proactive solution on how to go about this particular case, because right now it's at a very sensitive stage, because we know that the Massachusetts State Police have things to answer for when it comes to this case. We're all in agreement on that. I think we're all in agreement that there is a lot of stuff that the Massachusetts State Police have to answer for. But what I want to be very careful about doing is I don't want to, for lack of a better term, exploit this case to strengthen our argument for Karen Reed. I want to be careful not to minimize what Enrique Garcia-Delgado's family is going through right now, because we don't know exactly how similar, what the similarities are in the case yet. We know that the Massachusetts State Police isn't telling us everything. That's all I know anyway. So far, and now Shawn McD, going through the motions. We all love Shawn. He may have a line into more information. I'm not privy to that information. I was in his on his panel, actually. He had a members only stream just yesterday or the day before. I think it was the day before. It was the day before. And he was gracious enough and kind enough to invite me to join him. And he also had Josie on his panel with him as well. And we were having a very nice and productive conversation. And Shawn is rightfully upset about everything here, because from Shawn's perspective, and I don't want to speak for Shawn, but the way that I'm taking his uh his reaction to all of this is he's a law enforcement agent. He's someone who dedicated his life to law enforcement, and he keeps seeing shady shit after shady shit in regards to law enforcement. And hold on one second. Sorry, Clubber. How did you get back there, Clubber? 1 second, guys. I'm sorry. Give me one. Okay, I'm sorry about that, folks. Um, Clubber got into an area that I had closed off so that he wouldn't get into any trouble. So I managed to catch that before he actually got into any trouble. Thanks for your patience. Love is a 4-letter word. Thank you so much. Bullshit is an 8-letter word. Justice for Enrique. Keep it pushing, Will. Much respect. Thank you. Right. And that brings me to my next point. Thank you. Love is a 4-letter word. That brings me to my next point is I want to make sure that when we move forward here, we do so productively. Because if we're angry for the same or at least similar reasons that we're angry about the Officer John O'Keefe, Karen Reed case, the Sandra Birchmore case, the Justin Root case, all of these things that we're upset about, then we need to maintain level heads here. Okay. We cannot start jumping to conclusions as to what happened to Enrique because we don't have answers to that. I say we do what we do, rationally go about getting those answers. My questions so far as Enrique's case are as simple as, okay, it was a boxing training accident, you say. Okay, who was the training? Who was the training officer? Who was the boxing trainer? Why was the boxing trainer not present? If the boxing trainer was present, why did it go as far as it did? Because so far from what I've seen, the injuries that we're aware of are a broken neck, massive head trauma, a lot of missing teeth, a broken leg. How does a broken leg happen in a boxing match? In a boxing training match? So we all have the right questions, but right now we have to make sure that we remain rational and maintain the fact and maintain the understanding that those are just questions. They are in the question phase. We don't have answers yet. So if we start jumping to conclusions, then guess what? We start living up to that reputation of irrational conspiracy theorists. And right now, not only can Enrique's family not afford for us to do that, but Karen Reed cannot afford for us to do that. Sandra Birchmore's family cannot afford for us to do that. So we have to remain rational as we go about getting answers. We don't have answers yet. That's all I'm saying. When I was in Shawn's chat or on his panel, there were some people who in his chat who didn't like to hear this. They didn't like it at all. They were mad. They were attacking me even. Now, out of respect for Shawn, I did not fire back at any of them. I didn't take jabs back. I didn't get defensive because that would have been irrational of me. I would have veered the focus away from what was important. Right? So even though I wanted to react and go, hey, wait a minute, what's going on in chat? Hey, you know what? Fuck you and fuck you and fuck you. I could have done that. But that would have been irrational, wouldn't it have? Now, not to say that I'm not guilty of doing that in the past. I've absolutely done that. But in this particular case, on that panel, It would have not done me any good. It would have not done Enrique's family any good. It would have not done anybody in that chat any good had I done that. So just because I don't express my emotions the same way that you do doesn't mean that I don't feel the same way. So I want to be very clear about that. We're all on the same side here. We are all on the same side here. And I want to thank Shawn for just maintaining that camaraderie between the two of us and the three of us. Josie as well. We had a great conversation despite that, but emotions were high. But understand that just because I don't express those emotions, again, I don't express those emotions the same way that you are at that moment, does not mean that I don't feel the same way. Doesn't mean I'm not just as angry as you are. Doesn't mean that I'm not just as frustrated as you are. I am. But we have come so far as a community here and made so much progress to bring awareness to what's happening in Massachusetts that we can't afford to just piss that away by getting pissed off and starting to act like crazy people. We can't afford to do that. Now, David, all due respect, I'm going to give you a pass here. But since you're in my chat, I want to remind you that I reserve the right to tell you to go fuck yourself. I'm not doing that right now. Okay. Feel free to say what this is your pass right now, but understand that since I'm in my chat, I'm a lot more prone to go tell you to go fuck yourself. So just to be very clear about that. So as I understand it, there is a press conference that's about to be held in regards to this, held by the district attorney's office, that I believe. Now, this is an interesting fact, is Enrique was a victim's advocate for this particular, and sorry, I'm bad with the names of the counties there. I know it's not Norfolk, so please forgive me if I don't remember. It's slipping my mind. You guys know I have brain farts all the time. So that Worcester, Worcester. I should have remembered that. Worcester County is going to have a press conference. And I'm interested to see what they have to say about this, because there's a lot of talk on social media about this case, and it is it's getting hectic. So let me go ahead and play this real quick. This is where we're going to be going anyway to watch the press conference.
Examiner's facility that's in Westfield. Our Mary Marcos is live at the UMass Memorial Medical Center in Worcester right now. And Mary, very emotional out there, I'm sure.
Absolutely, Darren. That procession is expected to get underway any minute now, but we are learning tonight that Delgado Garcia was sworn in, surrounded by loved ones just before he died. He died about a month before he was supposed to graduate.
Ay, mi hijo amado, porque...
A Worcester family in shambles.
They kill my cousin, and they run away like cowards.
Trying to wrap their heads around why Enrique Delgado Garcia will never live to serve.
I know you would have shined. You would have been the best state police officer there. I feel like that's why what happened to you, and it sucks.
Massachusetts State Police say he was seriously hurt during an exercise at the academy in New Braintree Thursday.
My friend was injured at the police academy with what they say was an accident during boxing training.
But family members say something doesn't add up.
A broken neck, teeth missing, brain injury, that from boxing.
In an update Saturday, state police say he was sworn in with an oath of office during his final hours of life.
Protecting people of Massachusetts was his goal.
The thing is those injuries can come from boxing, but the likelihood is very, very slim. Yellow Truth Seeker, thank you. No trainer would let a fight go that far. See, that's my next point. Thank you, Yellow Truth Seeker. Yes, accidents happen, but never that many injuries. Sickening. Thoughts go out to this family. Of course, exactly. That's exactly the point. The problem here is that those injuries can happen in boxing, which is probably the reason why they felt it was a good excuse to use, but didn't really think it through. And so we've got a problem here, because this is another example, or at least it seems to be another example, where the Massachusetts State Police seem to think that the entire public is fucking stupid. So the issue here is we need to find out who that boxing trainer was, who was in charge. Somebody had to have been in charge. That's the question here. Who was in charge? We won't get the other answers that we get. We won't get reliable answers until we get the basic answers that lead up to the answers that we want. Can't skip it. We've got to take it step by step in order to get the most logical, the most likely accurate answers, right? So the question is, who was in charge? What are the dynamics of this? What are the regulations of this boxing program? What size gloves do they use? I'm talking about every single detail about this boxing program within that branch of the Massachusetts State Police Academy, if there's more than one. That we need to find out exactly what are the protocols when it comes to this boxing training program that takes place there. Do they have 3 rounds? Do they have 3-minute rounds? Do they have 30-second rounds? Do they have 1-minute rounds? How many rounds do they have? What are the rules? All of these things actually matter. This way we can eliminate, because if we're looking for reasons as to why did this get as far as it did, those are the questions that we have to ask. Who is in charge? If there's only 30 seconds per round, how did someone end up with a broken neck, a broken leg, and teeth missing, and that and brain trauma to that severity? How could that have happened?
So we're incredibly saddened by it. It's just tragic.
But loved ones still don't understand why they won't see him graduate with his classmates.
Ay, todo el mundo en Wister lo conoce y sabe que lo que yo estoy diciendo es verdad. Mi niño era un niño bueno.
I guarantee it's going to take years. A year or two, we got to investigate, then we got to go this, then we're going to do that. And by the time we know, there will be no injustice.
Okay, now that's something that is very that is very important to take note of. This is something I want all of us to keep in mind. Okay, for this family, this is incredibly more of this. This affects them more than it affects anyone. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you've been through with your own family. I don't give a fuck. And in comparison to what this family is going through, you don't know what the fuck they're going through. So quit it. And also keep in mind that this family right now is very emotional and very upset. Okay? Now, they have every reason to be, but nevertheless, they are very emotional and very upset. And it is up to us that have maintained an overall rational sense of behavior this entire time. It is up to us to help them, because they have an entire community, an entire army of people that are validating their suspicions and their emotions right now. But they also need us to act rationally when they may not be capable of doing so right now, and understandably so. Understandably, I'm not criticizing them for being emotional. I'm saying that we need to know better. All of us need to know better, because we have been dealing with exposing the Massachusetts State Police for a while now. We have that experience. They're fresh to it. They're new to it. They're confused. They are at a confused and an angry state. And understandably so. They are the ones mostly affected by this. But they also have this wonderful advantage right now, this blessing right now, that is an entire network of thousands and thousands of people who understand why they're upset and how to go about, at least, getting them the answers that they need. Because as a community, we've been able to do this in other cases. So it's important that we don't let ourselves become as emotional as this family clearly is. And like I said, rightfully so. But it's important that we don't allow ourselves to get that emotional. We just support them. That's my opinion. That is my personal opinion. And I believe they're justified in their feelings. Just saying, it doesn't help them if we become just as emotional as they are.
Now, state police say he joined the 90th training troop in April. His class will graduate at the DCU Center here in Worcester on October 9th, and the investigation into his death is ongoing. Live outside UMass Memorial Medical Center, Mary Marcos, NBC 10 Boston.
All right. Now, this should be coming up any minute. Hold on. Let me see if I can find the feed to the press conference. Because they do have every intention. You can see right here. I'll show you. This is that headline right there. DA to hold press conference in Massachusetts. State Police recruits death. Watch live at 11:30 a.m. So I'm on the NBC 10 website. So we're just going to wait. But I'm going to keep looking around. I'm going to keep lurking around this website just to see if I can find the actual feed. And this is just so heartbreaking for them. God, it makes me so mad to see that family so upset. I mean mad for them. Like I just can't imagine the confusion that they must feel right now, and how the anger is going to be fed by that confusion. And that anger can also feed the confusion. I can't imagine what they're going through right now. I'm trying to, and it's very difficult. Yeah, all there is right now is some shit about the Emmys. I'm refreshing the YouTube channel as well. God, I don't give a shit about the Emmys, dude. Bukaki's missing dentures. Thank you so much. The FBI, boys, pull up your britches because y'all moving to Massachusetts for a long time. Fuck it. We're moving Quantico to Boston. And I also I want to be very clear as well. I've learned over the years of talking about cases and interacting with family members and seeing how social media, how family members can reach out to social media creators, and then seeing those victims get exploited all to hell by social media creators. Seeing that has caused me to adopt the rule of never reaching out to family members of victims. I used to just do it, and so I'd say, my thoughts are with you, and if you ever feel you need to speak out, there's an invitation open. Uh, I've since then chosen not to do that. But that's not to say that my platform is not open to victims. I can publicly say here that any member of this family has an open invitation to speak their mind here. I will always give a victim or their loved one a voice if I can provide it. But I will not reach out to them and ask them to come on the show. But if they happen to watch the show, if they feel like they can reach people through my audience, they are more than welcome. They are always more than welcome to do so. Yeah, I just choose not to. And to see what Jennifer Coffindaffer did was just absolutely disgusting. And we are going to go over that after this press conference. This woman just never ceases to shock me with how low she'll go. Okay, it is now 11:30.
We begin with breaking news right now at the
tomorrow. And this is
and all I see is weather
here. In the 10-day, you see scattered showers and a chance for cooler.
For us this morning, everyone, as we wrap up the show here, we do want to remind you that we are standing by here for an update on the death of State Trooper Enrique Delgado Garcia. He died last week during defensive tactics training exercises at the State Police Academy. Again, we are expecting an update on his death very soon from the Worcester County Courthouse. We will carry that live here on NBC Boston.
Choose Ford Explorer, America, or the versatile Ford Escape.
All right, I'm just going to keep it muted while we wait. But we're here. It looks like this is going to be where they show the press conference. I'm really curious as to see what, because it's not just Enrique's family that are demanding answers. It is all of us. It is the public. And there's some interesting other stuff that we're going to go over. Now, it's going to seem like I'm going to be getting political, but I'm not. I assure you that I'm not. But it's politics, it's politically related, I guess. But unfortunately, this is where we're at. You know, if it boils down to the people, you know, it's going to come down to voting. You know, it's just there's no way to avoid that. Sorry, I'm checking Boston 10's YouTube channel as well to see if they're streaming it, but I don't see them having a feed going to their YouTube channel. So I'm just going to keep it on the website for now. And yeah, make sure to hit the like for me if you haven't already. All right, here we go.
Attempt on former President Trump was just in federal court.
Okay, no, that's not it. Let me just I'm just going to check and see if there's an other place here. Yeah, I'm not. I think it's just here where it's going to be.
Were found in the same bush where he was hiding. Donald Trump was immediately whisked off. Ruth, however, took off too. But it was the Palm Beach sheriff who said a witness really stepped up and helped their investigation.
Fortunately, we were able to locate a witness that came to us and said, hey, I saw the guy running out of the bushes. He jumped into a black Nissan, and I took a picture of the vehicle and the tag, which was great.
So they were able to track that vehicle via the license.
That's so fucking annoying. Okay, this is live. All right, here we go. I've got the live feed here. Yeah, I Sue, I'm with you. I really don't see any reason why we're not going to walk away from this pissed off. Because here's the thing: is what upsets me a lot here is that I don't have a whole lot of faith at this point that I'm going to get answers that are going to satisfy me. I don't expect anyone who's going to speak publicly in the state of Massachusetts to address me in regards to something involving the Massachusetts State Police. I don't expect them to give me something that I'm going to make that is going to pacify me. I just don't have faith in that at this point. I don't think any of us do. But I want to, because I still believe in the sanctity of good police work, in the honor of what the whole idea behind law enforcement is. I still believe in that. So I still have faith that I'm going to get some of those answers. But the problem is that I don't have faith that I'm going to get it from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. And that bothers the fuck out of me. Well, that's the thing, Kristen, is we don't know who beat him. See, that's the problem, is a lot of people are like, oh, Blair, how could you? They get so mad at me when I go, hey, I don't have any answers yet. I haven't formed an opinion other than I don't think that the Massachusetts State Police are being forthcoming with us about this. That is literally all I have as far as my opinion on this case goes. I don't know what the fuck else anybody wants from me about that. You know, like you can't expect me to sit here and responsibly speculate as to what happened to Enrique Garcia-Delgado when I don't have a motive. Even I can't even what was the first thing I did when I first started exploring the John O'Keefe Karen Reed case with you guys? Once I determined that I didn't think that Karen Reed hit John O'Keefe and that whatever happened to him happened inside the house, what was the first thing I did? The first thing I did was I tried to explore who would have had motive inside that house. If I can't even speculate as to who had motive, how the fuck do you expect me to speculate as to what actually happened to him? And this is not the channel for you if you expect me to do otherwise. Right. See, this is probably just, somebody just being sarcasm, but this is the kind of shit that you're going to get from the Karen Reed is guilty camp in regards to Enrique's case, which is going to cause more heartache and it's going to cause more shit for the family to have to deal with if we don't approach this thing responsibly. No, I'm merely just giving suggestions like we want answers. Okay, well, let's go about it the right way. Let's start asking the right questions. The first question is who was in charge? Who was in charge? Who was overseeing this boxing training that allegedly took place? Right. There's absolutely no reason why they should not be absolutely forthcoming as to what happened to Enrique. There's absolutely no reason. Because yes, I'm happy. I'm really happy that they gave him a trooper's escort. I'm really happy that they swore him in. And he died an actual Massachusetts state trooper. I'm grateful for that. But I sure hope that wasn't just an effort to appease the family and appease the public. I hope that wasn't what that was. I'm hoping that gesture also comes with transparency and answers. And as I understand it, I could be wrong, but I've also heard that Massachusetts State Trooper trainees have to sign NDAs. Now, NDA or not, if they're witnesses to a crime, they need to fucking come forward. If somebody saw something, excuse me, if this happened during a boxing training exercise, there's a number of witnesses. There's absolutely a number of witnesses. Right, exactly, Cherry. NDAs don't count if a crime takes place. So if this happened during a boxing training program, well then I'm going to speculate as to at least a half a dozen witnesses. What's up, JFK? Yeah. Yannetti wipes his ass with your NDAs. I wipe my ass with your NDAs and your fucking C and Ds. Go fuck yourselves. Say whatever the fuck I want. Talk about whatever the fuck I want. Y'all can kiss my ass. I mean, yeah, JFK. That's what it sounds like. Well, it sounds like, I mean, if somebody's leg got broken, now that could happen. I mean, I broke my ankle in a fight, but that just happened because I lost my fucking balance. You know what I mean? Like the first thing you think of, somebody breaks their leg in a fight situation. Well, somebody put them in a leg lock. They tried to tap out. They didn't listen to him tapping out, and then he broke their leg, right? But I mean, your leg could break in a number of different ways during a fight. What's up, Mazda Media?
No, he could have fit.
Get my good side too. Just say hello, just so we see that. Test.
Well, okay, you'd have to ask somebody who is trained in MMA. I think I might actually know somebody that I could bring up and ask about it. Know a couple people actually. Just the question is, would they be willing to come up here? But I know a couple people who do MMA that might be able to answer some questions. I mean, see, that's people keep, who ordered the code red? I mean, where are you getting that? A code red for sure. Okay, do you know what that means? Code red is a reference from the movie A Few Good Men, and the situation in that movie was that two guys roughed up someone in boot camp because they weren't keeping up with the rest of the training. And so in order to teach him a lesson, they roughed him up, and it went too far. The kid died. And they were just following orders. That's a really detailed situation to compare this to when you don't have shit to compare that to. You don't have a fucking thing to compare that. You don't know if someone ordered this kid to be roughed up. You don't know that it was another trainee who did it. You don't know if it was the trainer who did it. You don't know. You have no motive. Well, no, I realize 13 Kings, you're saying it, you meant it as a joke. Fine. But I'm saying a lot of people keep saying it. I keep hearing it. I keep seeing it. Someone asked, it's like I'm giving you shit. Why? I'm not trying to give you shit. But if you're spinning narratives based on baseless things, well, then yes, I'm going to give you shit. I'm sorry. That's not something that we've ever done here. And we're not going to start now because it's convenient to fit our narratives involving other cases. I'm just not going to do that. And if that makes me lose an audience, then so be it. It was a nice ride. Nice knowing you guys. But I'm not going to compromise my own principles that I've maintained for years on this channel just because it's convenient to all of the sudden. I'm not doing that.
Margaret. Yep, come on. You can bring some people. Some other people can come back here. Yep. Maria, you come over here, interpret, please. All right. Right here, okay?
Please let this district attorney's office do the right thing here.
If you don't mind, I'm sorry. It just looks awkward.
Okay.
I mean, it's a good start to have the family there. It's a real good start.
Please. Yeah. Right this way. Yep. Okay. All right. Good morning. Enrique Delgado Garcia was pronounced deceased at UMass Hospital Lakeside at 4:30 p.m. on September 13th, Saturday. Enrique Delgado Garcia was loved by everyone in our office. He's a dedicated victim witness advocate who joined our office and was with us for about a year and a half before he left our office in April to fulfill a lifelong dream of joining the Massachusetts State Police. This is a time of mourning for Enrique's family, friends, and loved ones. This includes many of us, his fellow victim witness advocates, office employees who worked alongside Enrique within our office. This is a heartbreaking and tragic loss. Enrique constantly worked to make life better for others. He was one of the first ones to help. Whether it was the victims he was advocating for, his fellow co-workers, he always did so with one of the biggest smiles that you've ever seen. He was a unique individual. I remember many evenings after 6 p.m. that I'd be walking out of my office and Enrique would still be at the front, either talking on the phone to a victim's family, and it would be Enrique, myself, and Margaret Ruwamba, who was the supervisor within the victim witness office. We try and get him to go home. Say, Enrique, what are you doing here? It's time to go home. And he said, no, Mr. Early, I'll be leaving soon. I got a few things I still need to do. And yeah. He'd always say, I got a little bit more here to do. I always got someone else I'm helping, Mr. Early. And because of this close relationship, someone else will be handling this matter. There's no way this office can handle this. Everyone loved Enrique. At this time, the detectives, state police detectives assigned to our office will continue to investigate.
Oh,
this
come
matter.
on.
They were called to the Massachusetts State Police Academy when Enrique was injured on Thursday, and they began an investigation. They've continued to investigate and continue to do so just as they would on any other case. And they will also work with whoever takes this matter. We don't have a cause and manner of death to release at this time as the autopsy report has been concluded. The autopsy has been concluded. The autopsy report has not been finalized. It will be completed by the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner. Now, I'm going to be limited in what I can take for questions. I'll try and answer some questions. We're early into this. And again, our office isn't handling this. Today, we're here for Enrique. This is all about Enrique. But I'll try and answer a few questions if I can. They're going to continue to investigate. I don't know who will be handling the investigation. I just know it will be someone without a stake in its outcome. Okay? They'll make those decisions. That's not for me to make those decisions. Again, I have a conflict. Whoever does take over this matter will be making those decisions. But right now, we're going to continue to investigate. We're going to do it just as it is. Will other things be done? I'm sure that they will. But that's something I can't speculate on at this point.
Things that involve other state troopers. Would you rather see this go to the federal level and away from the state police? Great question.
I'm not going to speculate as to that, Bob. I did talk to several people about taking over this matter on Friday. I'm not going to get into who they are. And we talked about the case. My concern is that we can't investigate it, okay? And I want it done by someone who doesn't have a stake in its outcome. I hope that answers your question.
It does.
Again, we know it was in the boxing ring. It was videotaped. But like I said, the autopsy's been concluded, but the report hasn't been finalized. So, but I shouldn't be speaking to that.
There's video evidence.
Whoever we give this matter to will be able to address that. And they've got to be able to do a thorough and complete investigation. And again, it has to be someone without a stake in its outcome.
Great question. Great question.
At this point, we have a conflict as an office, but right now we can't stop this investigation. And the state troopers that we have assigned to our state police detective unit are some of the finest, most professional people that I've ever dealt with in my life. And I am certain that they will continue to do this in a professional way. And we've got to do things. You just can't stop an investigation. There's some things that have to be, they're time sensitive, they have to keep going. But whoever does handle this matter will have an opportunity to review everything from top to bottom, bring in outside consultants, do whatever they think they need to do with regards to this. I'm speaking to people now about whether or not who will take it and who, if they have the ability to take it, and we're going back on different things right now. I don't think another DA's office is appropriate, but I don't want to get into that either. Again, they have state troopers that work, and it's a paramilitary organization, and there's a chain of command. So again, I'd like to see someone take this that doesn't have a stake in the outcome of this case. Oh, I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to get in. I'm we don't know enough. I'm not going to speculate on that again. I just want to have someone looking at this, eyes looking at this, who doesn't have a stake in the outcome of the case.
You have a grieving family next to you that are concerned that this may be criminal. Do you believe there's anything criminal that happened at the academy?
Not going to speculate. That too early in the investigation. Again, I had a conflict. They have a conflict. We have a conflict. We love Enrique. And again, this is about Enrique today. We want to make sure that what needs to be done gets done. And again, by someone without a stake in the outcome of this case.
Are any policy changes going to take place at the academy while the investigation?
Yeah, that'd be a question for the state.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to answer that.
His family is looking for privacy right now, but as they tell me, it was his lifelong dream to be a state trooper. I begged Enrique to stay. I said, come on, you got a place home. You got a home here. And we talked about maybe when you're a state trooper coming back and being a state police detective as well within our office. Because I thought he is such a fine, upstanding young man. He'd be the perfect representative for his family, his community. He's just an amazing young man. They don't want to.
I'll go over the questions again.
I don't think any of that's changed. Yeah. Do you want to say anything?
I recommend headphones if you don't have if you have some.
Your call. You don't have to. It's up to you. No, they don't want to say anything. Just ask that you respect their privacy at this point.
There you go.
All his coworkers are over here.
Please don't reach out to them right now. Give them time.
About a year and a half. And I tell you, if he wasn't the nicest, he was one of the nicest employees that ever worked for us, if not the nicest employee. That smile lit up a room, and he could handle people. He'd take Margaret, his supervisor, say, Enrique, you got to get up to the courtroom. You got to get up to the courtroom. And you get just a minute, Margaret, I have to finish with this person. I'm almost done. They want to be heard. I got to help them. And Margaret does an incredible job with her staff, about 24 people. And I know Enrique was one of her favorites too.
So what does it mean that he was in with his dad and was given the oath of office before he passed away, that he will now be remembered as a trooper in Massachusetts?
I don't know. I don't know. You'd have to ask the state police with regards to that. I'm not going to get into that. Right now we have jurisdiction of the case, and as you can see, we can't handle this case because we have a conflict. Again, we love Enrique. I'm sure other people are going to be weighing in on the case. There'd be some appropriate questions for other people. But we think right now, based on the amount of questions you have, based on the activity, based on the family's concerns, we're going to get someone to review this matter that does not have a stake in its outcome.
So you'll ultimately have jurisdiction over making a call over who controls the investigation?
Our office, yes, we're going to decide where it goes out to. And again, We're trying to keep it as transparent as possible, though. And that would be, let someone else take a look at it. Can't get into that at this point. I'm sure that'll all be part. I can't speculate. Can't speculate as to any of that. I have not. No, I'm not looking to give it to another DA's office. I don't think that would be fair to my fellow DAs. They all have state police detective units. They all have a chain of command. I'm looking for someone who can look at this with an independent view, who doesn't have a stake in its outcome. I don't know where we're going to go on that, Bob. The people I talked to were in state. I talked to about 4 different entities on Friday afternoon about the possibility of taking this over for us. Okay. I don't know. I would hope. I would hope so. I would hope so. Yeah. I would hope so.
If anybody else would like to say anything about Enrique for us? Anybody else?
Your people don't want it.
Family doesn't.
We're going to leave that alone for right now. These guys are hurt. They were all downstairs crying 5 minutes ago. We're going to give them a break right now, okay? Sure. That's being investigated right now. It appears we have 2 dead. Waiting to get a report back. We don't have anything else for you at this point. Okay, excuse me. 1 dead, 1 critical. 1 dead, 1 critical. I'm sorry. It was at the academy. I don't know who has ownership of it. I just know that
Different case. Different case.
Investigation will have that. I have not.
Different case. He's not talking about the same case. Somebody asked an unrelated question.
This is as hard as it gets. I mean, I love that kid. Love that kid. He's just the nicest kid in the world. I said, kid, he was 25. He's a young man. Was whole life in front of him. It's hard. Yes, it's hard. It's hard for all of us. I'm not the only one in this office suffering. There are a lot of people hurting right now. Okay? What's that? Pray for him. Say prayers. Say prayers for his family. They are hurt. All right. Thank you.
We've been listening to the Worcester County District Attorney there. That is Joseph Early Jr. speaking about Enrique Delgado Garcia. That is the 25-year-old recruit at the Massachusetts State Police Academy in New Braintree who died as a result of injuries that he sustained during a defensive tactics boxing training exercise. Just to catch you up here, you just heard how emotional that was. DA Early Jr. saying that he was a dedicated victim witness advocate. He also added that because of the relationship that his office had with Enrique, that they will not be taking this case because of how close his office was with him. He said that he doesn't know who will be handling the case yet, but he's going to continue to investigate and that they want it done by someone who does not have a stake in the outcome. He also added, I thought this was interesting, that we know that it was videotaped, this training exercise. Now, again, Enrique Delgado Garcia, a 25-year-old recruit at the Massachusetts State Police Academy in New Braintree, he passed away as a result of these injuries that he obtained during this training exercise. We're going to have much more on this online on NBCBoston.com. In the meantime, everyone, we will send it to 30 Rock, where NBC News Daily continues.
An obliterated serial number. And of course, as you said, more charges.
Okay, so people, I'm going to try to once they upload that and I can rewind it, then I'll see if I can go over that again. because I wanted you guys to hear the questions. With headphones on, it was easier for me to hear the questions, or at least the general idea of what the questions were. Yeah, great point, SD. Yes. The public now knows that there is video. So now the gist of that is that he was loved. I was curious about his role as a victim's advocate for the DA's office there. And it turns out that the Worcester DA's office they loved him. All of those people alongside the wall there were co-workers of his who loved him. I have no reason to think that there were any mistruths or deception coming from that district attorney. I feel that he was being very forthcoming. I feel that he was I felt like he was very genuine in his feelings. I have no reason to think otherwise. The fact that Michael Morrissey is dirty is not enough to make me believe that this guy is dirty. I give all of those who swore to uphold justice the benefit of the doubt until they give me a reason to not do so. And I have no reason to doubt this gentleman. And I believe that he was absolutely genuine until I have reason to believe otherwise. And he was saying, because of the conflict of interest, because everyone in his office was so personally involved, had personal feelings for him because they loved him so much, that office is not going to be involved in the investigation. Now, what did not sit well with me was the fact that he said that there are Massachusetts state troopers assigned to their office who are investigating this currently. But I felt better when he said that he ideally would like outside entities who don't have a stake in this. And of course, the chat here lit up with the words Josh and Levy. Now, unless there's a federal crime, I don't expect Josh Levy to intervene. Unless a federal crime took place, I don't accept Josh Levy to intervene unless the people in the Massachusetts State Police are already under investigation. And the yes, I will do that. But where I do feel better, where I do feel a little comfort, is this gentleman saying that he is open to an outside entity, because the other stipulation that I'm aware of why a federal entity would take over is because is in the event that the local entity asks for federal assistance in the investigation. If they ask for the federal assistance, then the feds can step in. So hopefully he does this. I so far, as I said, believe that he is genuinely looking for justice and answers here. And I thought it was a hell of a gesture to simply hold a press conference expressing how he felt about what was going on and having the family there by his side so that the press and the public could see Enrique's family and how heartbroken they are. I thought that was great. I thought it was great that the focus was the family. Please, if you take anything from that press conference, take that the family is asking for peace. This family is asking to be allowed to mourn in peace. They want their privacy. Please respect that. Now, let me go over to Twitter real quick. Now, as I said, the cool thing was, now again, I'll go over, if I don't go over today, I'll go over the press conference again later. And the questions, the general consensus of the questions were great. They were like, are you looking for answers? Because it's not just us. Take comfort in knowing that it's not just us. I'm going to go into that in just a second. Abby Bruce, thank you so much. It's not just us that are asking these questions. The mainstream media, at least, are asking similar questions now too. And I wonder if they would be doing that if we had not as a community been so loud in regards to the other cases where the Massachusetts State Police's behavior merits questions. So take this as good news. This is progress as far as how these how the powers that be are addressing the public. Let me check Twitter real quick. And hold on a second here. Uh-oh. Okay. Okay. Uh-oh. So now again, I stand by what I said as far as what my impression was of this man. I don't know anything about this man, but apparently Turtle Boy has done a little homework on that DA who we just heard from. So his first tweet here says that Joseph Early is just as corrupt as Michael Morrissey. In 2013, he helped cover for Morrissey when Morrissey crashed his car drunk in Milton. Get ready for Enrique Delgado's death to be covered up as well. Okay. So Turtle Boy doesn't have a whole lot of faith in Joe Early. His next tweet says DA Joe Early was forced to pay a $5,000 fine by the ethics committee after Turtle Boy's reporting showed that he ordered state police to take embarrassing statements out of a judge's daughter's arrest report. The trooper who arrested her, who is from Canton, was disciplined for refusing to cover it up. 4 of the highest ranking members of the Massachusetts State Police resigned in disgrace over Early's scandal. Okay. So apparently Turtle Boy has already done a little research on this particular district attorney. And now we're just going to have to wait and see. Now what we're going to have to do is wait and see how this plays out. So again, regardless of what you heard today, the only thing that you should take as gospel is the family's request to privacy. Okay? So please respect that. But I guess we'll find out. Let's find out. Let's wait and see what Joe Early decides to do here as far as the outside entities who don't have a stake in this case, don't have anything to lose by investigating, don't have anything to gain or lose. Let's see. Let's see what he does. So now Turtle Boy doesn't have a whole lot of faith in this man. All I have to go by is his words and what he said here. Now, it being an election year, maybe this guy, maybe out of fear of already having a lot of pressure to do the right thing because of his shady past, maybe he'll do the right thing here. What's important here is not the reasons why things are done. It is whether or not they get done. This is where I'm at. What is the main focus for me right now is whether or not shit gets done to get answers. Will steps be taken to get answers for the Garcia-Delgado family? That's the big question. His shady past again. Let's see. According to Turtle Boy, he was forced to pay a $5,000 fine by the ethics committee after Turtle Boy exposed him and showed that he ordered state police to take embarrassing statements out of a judge's daughter's arrest report. So apparently a judge's daughter got arrested, and DA Early had the state police remove embarrassing statements out of the arrest report. And then the trooper who was arrested, the trooper who arrested her, who's from Canton, he was disciplined for refusing to cover it up. 4 of the highest ranking members of the MSP resigned in disgrace over Early scandal. And that was Turtle Boy's breakthrough story. So that was like Turtle Boy's big story that he broke through with. Okay. Corrupt to the bone. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I don't believe it. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is the dude came off real genuine in that press conference. And until I have reason to believe, which didn't take long, until I had reason to believe to not take him sincerely, well, yeah, I'm wondering who that arresting officer was, who was from Canton, which is funny because it was a Canton police officer who actually refused to doctor those statements, apparently, and was reprimanded for it. But he's not investigating, right? But he's saying that there are Massachusetts state troopers that are investigating. Now, Turtle Boy's story alone right there should tell you that the entire Massachusetts state police are not corrupt, that there are some members who still live up to their oath that they took to get their badge, and there are others that don't. The question is, who will be handling this case? Will it be the trustworthy members of the Massachusetts State Police or otherwise? Now, here's the thing is, do we trust the higher ups in the Massachusetts State Police? Because we do know that there are some Massachusetts State Police officers, obviously, who are not corrupt and who are interested in upholding the law, right? Derek, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Here you go. FBI, open up! There you go. So, but right, you guys are like, no. Now let's explore that for a second. Okay, let's explore that. Now, I did post. I want you guys to see something. Now, this is going to seem like it's getting political, but it really isn't necessarily. It kind of is, but it isn't. This is in no way a reflection of what my political views are. I want to be very clear about that. Now, show you guys a little something here.
But let's and as of today, there is not one member of the United States military who is in active duty in a combat zone in any war zone around the world. The first time this.
Okay.
And as of today, there is not one member of the United States military who is in active duty in a combat zone in any war zone around the world. The first time this.
Wait, what?
But let's understand.
So where the fuck are we right now?
And as of today, there is not one member of the United States military who is in active duty in a combat zone in any war zone around the world. The first time this.
Wait, what?
But let's understand.
So where the fuck are we right now?
And as of
Okay.
today, there is not
Now-
one.
There's a reason. Now, I did post that on my Twitter because it's gotta be. As of right now, that's my favorite fucking video ever. That shit is fucking hilarious. It's fucking great. Now, let me show you guys something else real quick.
The military. She said during the debate, I want.
Now, for you mass locals, you guys are going to see what I'm talking about here. This is for you mass locals. Now, the last video, it applies. There's a method to my madness here.
I'm going to ask you about her comments about the military. She said during the debate this about the U.S. military. Let's listen.
As of today, there is not one member of the United States military who is in active duty in a combat zone in any war zone around the world. The first time this century.
Our fact checkers found that to be false, and I have a lot of experience in that area as well. There are currently 900 U.S. military personnel in Syria, 2,500 U.S. troops in Iraq. All have been under regular threat from drones and missiles for months. We also have action in the Red Sea. We also, every single day, the Navy SEALs, Delta Forces, special operators can be part of any sort of deadly raid. So why would she make that claim?
Now, you see who she's talking to here, right? You guys recognize her? She is your Massachusetts state governor. Okay? She is the same person who just replaced the colonel, the very head of the Massachusetts State Police, handpicked and replaced, right? She is the person in charge of this, Maura Healey. Okay.
Well, I think what's important here, Martha, is that Kamala Harris, in contrast to Donald Trump, demonstrated herself to be commander-in-chief. We are in a world where there are all sorts of conflicts, and it's all the more reason we need somebody who's serious and who supports the military. And just remember,
but Governor, excuse me.
Now, I love that this news anchor, even though they work for ABC, which is amazing to me, this person is calling her out. Like, hold on. I see where you're fucking going here. Stop. You're not getting away with this shit. Stop. Stop it right now. Answer the fucking question. You just heard Kamala Harris fucking lie to the American people during this debate. Now, I'm not saying anything pro-Trump here. What I'm saying and what I'm pointing out here is that Kamala Harris lied and was fact-checked by the very same network that was accused of being biased towards her because they moderated the debate, right? So this person is actually calling out Kamala for this, fact-checked her, and has the governor of Massachusetts now asking what she thinks of Kamala Harris, who she backs, lying to the American people. And this is her answer.
Excuse me, but she said there is not one member of the United States military who is in active duty in a combat zone. That is not true. You say she demonstrated her ability to be commander in chief, but did she not know about these people in Syria and Iraq?
Great question.
Why would she say that?
Look, that was a comment. That was a comment in a debate. I think the point that she was trying to make was a broader point. And of course, we have military.
That was a comment in a debate. So, you know, of course she's going to fucking lie. She is making excuses for Kamala Harris fucking lying. So if you are sitting here and you're thinking that this woman is actually making decisions in the interest of the Massachusetts people, as opposed to her own political interests, you are a fool. I'm sorry, but you are a fool if you believe that. Because here she is sticking to her guns. She was caught defending someone lying to the American people and is now doubling down on it as she's being called out for it, people. This is not me manipulating anything. I have no stake in this. I don't live in Massachusetts. I'm an independent. I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. I have no stake in this. But I'm telling you right now that this woman who runs your Commonwealth is a fucking liar. Now, if you're okay with that, that's your business. I don't have to live there. You do. All I'm doing is showing you that this woman is not acting in the interest of the Massachusetts people.
Military in place all around this country.
Let's watch that one more time.
I want to ask you about her comments about the military. She said during the debate this about the U.S. military. Let's listen.
As of today, there is not one member of the United States military who is in active duty in a combat zone in any.
Now, she didn't say, oh, well, you know, there might be. I'm not sure if. She didn't say it like that. She said there is not one member of the United States military. That means all branches of the military in a combat zone, in an active combat zone anywhere in the world. That's what she fucking said.
Any war zone around the world, the first time this century.
Our fact checkers found that to be false, and I have a lot of experience in that area as well. There are currently 900 U.S. military personnel in Syria, 2,500 U.S. troops in Iraq. All have been under regular threat from drones and missiles for months. We also have action in the Red Sea. We also, every single day, the Navy SEALs, Delta Forces, special operators can be part of any sort of deadly raid. So why would she make that claim?
Well, I think what's important here, Martha, is that Kamala Harris, in contrast to Donald Trump, demonstrated herself to be commander in chief. We are
So let me get this straight. By being a fucking liar, saying whatever it takes to look good in a debate in front of not just the country, but the fucking world, is demonstrating her position as commander in chief. Now, I could go on, but I just want to stay focused on this one particular issue. I want to keep the blinders on just for this little thing here. Okay? This one particular issue. Because I could go on about Kamala. I could go on about Trump, but I'm not going to. That's not what I'm here to do. What I'm here to do is point out the fact that Kamala Harris straight up lied, and your governor is defending it and calling it demonstrating her position as commander in chief. Okay. I don't know about you, but if I were, if the governor of Tennessee were talking like that, I would be pissed.
We're in a world where there are all sorts of conflicts, and it's all the more reason we need somebody who's serious and who supports the military. And just remember,
But Governor, excuse me.
Okay, great point. We do need somebody who is serious and supports the military. So why is she not acknowledging the soldiers who are out there risking their necks right now? Why is she lying and talking about them as if they don't exist? And why are you defending it? Because that shit pisses me off. That pisses me off. To not show the respect of members of the American military, to not show them respect infuriates me.
But she said there is not one member of the United States military who is an active duty in a combat zone. That is not true. You say she demonstrated her ability to be commander in chief, but did she not know about these people in Syria and Iraq? Why would she say that?
Look, that was a comment. That was a comment in a debate. I think the point that she was trying.
But it was a comment in a debate. Yeah, keep digging. Keep digging. It was a comment and debate. So, you know, in a debate, you're expected to fucking lie. What? What?
Is trying to make was
in a debate, you know, anything goes. You can lie, you can disrespect American military soldiers, not even acknowledge their existence. Yeah, you know.
was a broader point. And of course, we have military in place all around this country.
I don't have patience for that shit. Okay? So forgive me if now I don't believe that this person's actions is in the interest of you, the Massachusetts people. So I don't hold a lot of faith in this decision to I mean, we're in an election year. I believe everything that this woman does, and now I know for sure, or at least I have much more reason to believe anyway, that this woman's actions are all politically motivated. That her appointing a new colonel to the Massachusetts State Police is nothing other than politically motivated. So don't expect reform. Don't expect this person to handle reform and to handle Massachusetts State Police. I mean, we're talking about, you know, let's just be honest. One thing that Trump did say that was actually absolutely true is that crime is up everywhere, especially in blue states. Yeah, crime is up everywhere. So I don't expect a blue governor to do anything about crime. I just don't. I mean, this is the craziest shit in the world. Like, it's wild. The only law enforcement agents who former law enforcement agents that I give a shit about, in the sense that that I give a shit what their opinions are in this case, are Shawn McD, the Las Vegas guys, And fucking Scott, one of my mods, and a mod for Melanie Little. And then, you know, the gentleman that called in. That's it. I don't trust anything anybody else. I don't trust fucking Coffindaffer. Believe that shit. Sarah and Shock and Horror. Thank you so much. I am outraged. The DA is conflicted out because they love Enrique, but MSP will do the right thing. We need Josh Levy now. P.S. Your shirt is fantastic. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm hoping. Let's see if this man has the balls to actually ask for federal intervention in this case. Let's see if he really wants justice for Enrique and Enrique's family. Then what he will do is circumvent the entire Massachusetts State Police from this investigation and ask for federal assistance. Now that I know that he has a shady past, now that I know that there are that this happened in a Massachusetts State Police Academy training program, now that I know that the Massachusetts State Police are the ones who say that it was a boxing accident, now that I know that the Massachusetts State Police are the ones heading up the investigation, well, let's see if this man is actually serious about wanting to get answers from an entity that has no stake in this, as he stated, as he put it. Because here's the thing is, if this dude is as corrupt as Turtle Boy says he is, I'm not going to count on this dude bringing in the feds, because he's going to be scared of what they're going to uncover on the way. Like, I mean, I could see this guy going, yeah. Yeah, I was wondering if you guys could maybe step in and help us out a little bit into the untimely death of Enrique Garcia-Delgado. Now, real quick, I'm just curious. You guys, our office isn't really going to have anything to do with that, is it? You guys aren't really going to I mean, what kind of questions are you guys going to ask us necessarily? You know, specifically and hypothetically, what would you guys be asking us? Just curious. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that they're going to be calling the message or calling the FBI, but hopefully they do. Fairy Raven, thank you so much. Justice for Enrique Delgado Garcia is the family's YouTube page. Okay, thank you. I mean, yeah, this is just this is a mess. But as I stated before, guys, where we're at right now is if it turns out to be up to us to actually come up with answers, we got to stay cool. I mean, think about it. That's been the key element in getting answers and exposing as much as what's been exposed. Like, take Turtle Boy, for example. You got to be cool like Turtle Boy, right? And you guys might be like, well, I mean, I don't know, man. Turtle Boy, he's not that cool in the way that he behaves. Like, he gets pretty hyped up. Fair enough. Does he ask questions loudly? Sure. But he asks the right questions. That's what you guys got to keep in mind. He asks the right questions. He stays focused and chill enough to focus on the task at hand. He never actually loses his cool. You take when JLR confronted him and started trying to elicit an emotional response from him. What he did was he ended up making fun of his shoes. That's playing it cool. He didn't get into a screaming match with him. He didn't get into a fight with him. He had those people from in front of CF McCarthy's, in front of D&E Pizza, aggravating him, trying to push him, touching Meredith, doing everything they could to elicit a response from him, but he stayed cool. You get what I'm saying? We have to do the same thing. Stay cool. Ask the right questions. Stay persistent. Stay cool, but stay persistent in getting those answers, in asking those questions until we get correct answers. They may not even be the answers that we're expecting. Because the truth is we don't have the answers to those questions yet. But right now, the only questions that we should be asking right now is, when do we get to see that videotape? Because now we know there's a videotape. B, who was in charge of the training program? How did he sustain those injuries? How did Enrique sustain those injuries? How did it get that far? How did someone who's in charge, how did it get that far at a Massachusetts State Police training facility? How did that happen? Those are the questions we need to ask. Who was in charge? Who is accountable? BB, thank you so much. Why should we believe there's a video? Great point. Great point. Why should we? I mean, considering that now this DA, the Worcester DA, is his integrity's in question, well, then everything that he says is questionable. But he says there's a video. So if there's a video, we got to push that video not necessarily becomes public, but at least that they are transparent with some sort of satisfying outcome for this family. Something. Because the thing is it's evidence, and we may not be able to see evidence in an open investigation. But the problem is I don't trust the entity that is investigating it. I don't. But maybe there are good people from the Massachusetts State Police that are investigating this. But it's too early. It's too early to lose faith. We got to give them a chance to fuck up. You know, as far as this case goes, we've got to give the Massachusetts State Police a chance to fuck this case up before we start pointing fingers at them in regards to this case. But we have plenty of reason to side-eye them. We have plenty of reason to do that. We have plenty of reason to have a lack of faith in them. But all we can do is pressure them to do the right thing. Let them know we're watching. We're here, we're watching, and we expect results. Right. That's the whole point, is you minimize their chances of fucking up the more eyes that they know are on them, the less of a chance that there is of them fucking this up. So that's why it's important. Like, do we want to catch them doing something, or do we actually want justice? We want justice. We don't want them to fuck this investigation up just like they fucked up the other ones. We want better. We want this family to get justice. Well, we don't have a choice, hate corruption. I get what you're saying. You're saying, okay, who's going to say it? I think they've done enough damage, but you're right. They have done enough damage, but the problem is what are you going to do? You're going to disband the Massachusetts State Police? That's not realistic. The only thing we can do right now is put pressure on the governor to make sure that she lives up to what she says she's going to do, or vote her the fuck out. Vote in somebody who you can trust to actually provide reform in the Massachusetts State Police. It is an election year, folks. So this is where you take action. We make sure that the Massachusetts State Police know that all eyes are on them currently when it comes to this case and how they handle it, because we're already watching them because they fucked up with the Sandra Birchmore case and then the Karen Reed case. They fucked up as far as that goes. So now we let them know that we're watching them. Then, also, if you're not satisfied with and you don't trust Governor Healy with Massachusetts State Police reform, vote in somebody who you think is trustworthy in doing so. Vote somebody else that you trust in doing so. It doesn't matter if you're a Democrat, a Republican, an independent, a libertarian, none of that shit matters. None of that shit matters. If you care about Massachusetts State Police reform and you don't trust Healy to do the job and you're a Democrat, well then vote in another Democrat. Demand a candidate that you believe in. Pick a candidate you believe in, vote them in. Now, it might be a little late this term, but keep it in mind moving forward. Now, and I'm going to go over this a little bit. Give me a second here. Let me. It's always somebody who wants to vote someone in to take your guns away that tries to shoot the candidate who doesn't want to take your guns away. It's fascinating. Fascinating. I'll never understand. I'll never understand politics today. I won't understand it. Derek, thank you so much. Appreciate you. This is just, these are bizarre times. I guess it's Delgado Garcia. I thought it was Garcia-Delgado. But I guess it's Delgado Garcia. Right. Microdots tweeted that if the death of Enrique Delgado Garcia happened the way that Mass State Police claim, then it should be very easy for them to offer evidence to the rightfully skeptical public. I'd like to take a look at the video they showed the family frame by frame under my microscope. I would like that too. I would like that very much. Now, a lot of people have been speaking out about this. So let's just move on to Jennifer Coffindaffer here. This woman is exhausting. So she sent this to a member of Enrique's family. It says here, "Hi, sir. First, I am so very sorry for your loss. The fact that he would be seeking to protect and serve others says so very much. So far, so good. I would be honored to help your family in any way I can to advocate for justice for him. Also, so far, so good, but the timing sucks. Like, you don't need to be reaching out to anybody right now. Have you received any official reports? Wow. Will you be ordering an independent autopsy?" She goes on to ask. Have you spoken with any of the other trainees? And then, my thoughts and prayers are with you. Which is a perfect example as to why when people hear thoughts and prayers, they dismiss it and it's minimized because it doesn't mean shit coming from anybody anymore because of assholes like this who say thoughts and prayers when they don't fucking mean it. So here, just the fact that she had the audacity to ask about an autopsy, and this family is in the middle of, and I mean in the peak time of mourning. These people are confused. They're asking why, possibly even questioning their faith at times because it makes absolutely no sense. When you hear this family speak about their loss, one person was quoted as saying that Enrique was the best of them. So when you take these things into consideration and when you actually empathize with this family, then what you do is you shut the fuck up and you let them mourn. You leave them alone. That is what you do. You let them try to process this. You don't intervene in their processing time. And I mean, everybody's pissed about this. Coffin Dweller only reached out to the family to try and gain info from them. She's vile and inept. Agreed. And on top of that, because Queen made the point that I was getting to is now I'm not sure. I don't have enough information to say that she's fishing for information and fishing to find out what they know. I mean, the Massachusetts State Police know what they know. The Massachusetts State Police are the ones in charge of releasing any information. But do I put it past her? Absolutely not. What I think is going on here is that she is just looking for some way to gain some sort of clout, some sort of validity here. She's looking to gain some sort of what's the word I'm looking for? I've already said clout. I've already said validity. Attention is part of clout. She's looking for relevance. She's looking to be relevant because she's become less and less relevant. She's an absolute opportunist. Yes. She's become less and less relevant because the more the John O'Keefe, Karen Reed case moves forward, the more exculpatory evidence is exposed, and the more exculpatory evidence that becomes exposed, the more she becomes exposed as a fucking fraud and a liar and a fucking mystery as to why the FBI hired her in the first place. Now, I know Turtle Boy would say, it's no mystery. She's a diversity hire. But I wasn't there. I don't know. But it sure as fuck sounds like it, doesn't it? And so Josie posted something where she says that she informed the family of her, and so they're aware and they blocked her. So she's no longer a threat to this family, other than the likely attacks that she'll make towards them. Because there was another post that I was just disgusted by. And I got to find that. Give me a second here. Oh my God. I hate when I can't find this stuff. I think I went over it already, but I wanted to go over it again. But I mean, she basically victim blamed. She basically tried to, I mean, that wasn't the only time she reached out to this family. She also reached out to them asking, like, if he could have sustained those injuries from a chokehold, from, you know, a pre-existing condition. So this is why people thought that she was digging for information from the Massachusetts State Police, because she clearly has an agenda to protect them right off the bat. She already sees that she's trying to play damage control for the Massachusetts State Police, because she already knows that there's already a real bad look on them. And so she thinks that if she can, she thinks that she can try to control this narrative. But the problem is the Massachusetts State Police have done this themselves. And I don't blame anybody for feeling the way that they do about the Massachusetts State Police right now, as a matter of fact. The only thing is, all I ask is that we continue the same methods that we always maintained, which is to stay calm, stay cool, dig for the facts, stick to the facts only, and expose them, and not perpetuate rumors, not perpetuate irresponsible speculation. We want to be fact driven, because right now the Free Karen Reed movement can't afford for us to, as a whole, gain a reputation or perpetuate the reputation that people are trying to stick us with as paranoid conspiracy theorists. The way that we avoid that is to maintain credibility and build credibility, and we do that by sticking to facts and facts alone. So be very careful, please, moving forward, and you know, and try to separate the things. Try to separate rumor from fact. Don't perpetuate rumor. Don't spin rumor. Just for your own benefit. If you're really this angry about it, you're not going to get the answers that you want by entertaining rumors and irresponsible speculation. You're not going to do that. It's going to appease you momentarily. It's going to give you that dopamine rush because somebody else is just as angry and they're pissed off and they're validating your feelings and blah, blah, blah. And it's real easy to get lost in that. But for us to maintain the credibility and and it's a fragile credibility, because again, you've got mainstream media that are still 2020 just made us all out to be a bunch of fucking just a bunch of blind following idiots who don't pay attention to data. They minimize Turtle Boy as just a blogger, a controversial blogger, and we're all just blindly following this controversial blogger, not pointing out the fact that this controversial blogger provided us with receipts and proof and asked the right questions and inspired us to ask the right questions. That's what happened. And the only way to maintain that argument on our side is to continue down that same path of simply asking the right questions and sifting out the garbage, sifting out the rumors and the irresponsible speculation. That's the best thing that we can do. But I was gonna open the phone lines, but I don't think I'm gonna be on long enough to be able to do that. I think I'm actually gonna go ahead and wrap this up. But I may go on again later on this evening. Hold on a second. Okay, let me clear this up before I log off. Souvenir, let me make something abundantly clear. I'm not blaming Free Karen Reed people for anything. Okay? And that's the kind of shit that pisses me off. I'm not blaming the Free Karen Reed people for anything. I am merely using my platform in the most responsible way that I possibly can. If I am a social media influencer, I am merely trying to influence you guys to stick to the facts moving forward and not let our emotions get the best of us. I'm not saying anybody's done that yet. I'm not pointing fingers at anybody doing that. So don't say things like I'm blaming Free Karen Reed people for something that I haven't blamed them for. I haven't blamed Free Karen Reed people for fucking anything. So be careful how you word things when you accuse me of things, please. If you're going to accuse me of something, bring receipts. Because I haven't blamed a Free Karen Reed person for a fucking thing. So when I say be careful how you word shit, this is a good example. Thank you, Queen Frostine. Yeah, the technical term for what people with YouTube channels is a social media influencer. That is technically the term. Now, do I feel like I necessarily influence anybody to do anything? I don't think so, but if I do, I am merely trying to use my platform to influence you to stick to facts. Facts. Don't act on your emotions. That is what I'm trying to influence you to not do, is act on your emotions. That's it. That's all I'm saying. Moving forward, it's best to keep our eye on the prize, on the grand scheme of things, exposing the truth. That's all I'm trying to get anybody to do, is to stay focused without allowing their emotions to do things that their emotions want them to do. I feel just as emotional as you guys do. If anything, I'm thinking out loud. If anything, I am just simply reminding myself to stick to the facts. See, again, see, now you're pissing me off. When did I say that the Free Karen Reed the supporters have control over what the trolls say? I never said that. I simply said don't give them anything. Don't validate them. That is what I'm saying. And yes, you have responsibility. Yes, you do. You have no responsibility for trolls. Of course you do. Of course you have some responsibility over what the trolls are going to say. You can minimize the things that the trolls can say that have any validity to them. That you can control. You can't control them lying. Of course not. Nobody's saying that you have control over that. So don't fucking make me out to say that's what I'm telling you that you do. I've never once fucking said that you have control over the trolls lying and making shit up. When did I say that? I'm saying don't give them anything that gives them validity. That's all I'm saying. So open your fucking ears if you're going to be in my chat, and don't ever fucking accuse me of something like that, because I never fucking once said that shit. Anyways, before I get too pissed off, I'm going to go ahead and call this. Again, I have the same emotions as you guys do, okay? I'm just trying to control them as best as I can so that we can effectively get answers. That's all. That's all I'm trying to say. Anyways, guys, you guys are fantastic. Thank you guys for everything. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I appreciate all of you. Hopefully I'll go live a little later today. If not, I don't see why I would. Well, tomorrow I will be live for sure. Tomorrow is the Robert Devine hearing. So in regards to the Sandra Birchmore case. So I will be going over that tomorrow. Today there was a William Farwell commission hearing scheduled, but it got canceled. So I actually would have been live a couple of hours earlier had that not been canceled. I had it set, but it got canceled. But tomorrow I will definitely be live for the Robert Devine thing, but hopefully I will be live again tonight. So anyways, guys, you guys are absolutely fantastic. I love you guys very much, and we will do this again very soon, my friends.